Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. We're now joined by head women's basketball coach John Hoskins. Coach, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, Jen.
Well, it's been a few weeks since we previewed the 2015-16 season with you, but can you catch us up to speed on your undefeated season so far and what stood out to you the most?
Well, I think the girls are progressing well. They're working really hard. I like this team in terms of their chemistry. They get along well together. They really support each other. They're very unselfish on the floor. So I think we're making the strides. You know, it's a process, and we've got to continue to get better each and every game, and as we get in to tougher and tougher competition. But very pleased with what we've done so far.
Well, you were able to see your team compete in a pair of preseason contests, a victory over Campbell and a loss at UNC Wilmington. Go through the process of scheduling exhibition games each year and what kind of competition you look for and hope to get out of those preseason games.
Well, with the rule change years ago where the Division I's can't play the AAU programs, they now play mostly Division II programs. So we get calls throughout the year and just try to schedule. One thing we're trying to do is schedule and get kids back in their home areas to play those games, which we think is nice. We're trying to set something up either with UNCG or North Carolina A&T to get some girls, Reidsville, Winston-Salem area girls up that way. But I just think it's a good test for us. It's very good competition. We get to play in a little bit larger arenas, and our girls are excited about playing Division I schools.
Well, how much experimenting do you do with your lineups this early in the season, and at what point of the season do you hope to get settled with the same starting five every game?
We will probably not get settled with the same starting five. We told our girls before the Fayetteville State game, we don't have a starting five. You know, we two platoon Saturday against Coker. We've got a lot of girls that are capable of starting. Sometimes it's matchups, what the other team's doing. If they're pressing, we'll put in a better handling group. If they're bigger and stronger, we might put in a little bit bigger group. But we do like to look at a lot of combinations, both in practice and in games to kind of see, you know, what works the best. And a lot of it depends on the game situation and who we're playing against and that type of thing.
Well, let's start with the first contest of the season where UNCP controlled a 63-56 win over Fayetteville State in the opening contest of the regular season. The second half was key to overcoming the Broncos. So what did you tell your team at halftime to turn things around for the win?
Well, first of all, we really started slow. I thought, you know, one of the things, Fayetteville State gets the ball at the floor quick. We got hurt in transition a little bit. We got some good shots, but we didn't score early. So, you know, by halftime, we'd settled back in, and we were back in the game. I think it was a 6-point game. You know, we just told them to keep plugging, keep doing our stuff, and execute a little bit better and finish plays. One thing I thought that made a difference is we zoned them a little bit in the third quarter, and I think that was beneficial. Our zone worked pretty well against them, and it just depends on the team whether that zone will work or not. And we'll usually throw it in there at some point in time during the game and see how successful we are. But in that game, as it was in the Campbell exhibition, the third quarter, we zoned and our zone was effective, and we played well offensively.
Well, the Braves grabbed another win in a 63-51 defeat over Coker. Turnovers seemed to plague the Cobras, and you had 30 points in the post. What was your takeaway from that contest? And what have the wins against Campbell as well as your first two regular season games done for the confidence of this team?
My takeaway from the Coker game, I thought we played well defensively for the most part throughout the game. Effort was really good. You know, offense was a little spotty. We had some segments where we got some good shots and missed shots. We had some segments where we turned the ball over. But I thought for the most part, except for some fouling, late in the third and in the fourth quarter, our defense was very consistent, and we're playing hard on the defensive end. You know, I think confidence is always important early in the season. You know, we had the flip side of that last year where we just lost a lot of close games. So I think that confidence is important to build that momentum and you know, to get belief in what you're trying to do. You know, that, hey, this works if we'll just do it. So I think that's very important, to particularly, you know, close games. The Campbell game was a close game down the stretch where they came back and we built up the lead at the end. The Fayetteville State was a close game. So I just think winning those close games is extremely important because we're going to play in a ton of them this year.
All right, we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking to head women's basketball coach John Hoskins again, so stay tuned. Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. We're still joined by head women's basketball coach John Hoskins. Coach, we've been able to see the early emergence of two freshmen, guard Avery Locklear and post player Sadeja Love. Can you talk about those ladies and what they bring to the court for you?
Well, first of all, Avery's just a very hard-working young woman. Goes out there and competes every day in practice. Has really shot the ball well. You know, she was up and down in practice shooting a three-point shot, but you know, obviously Campbell, Wilmington, and Fayetteville State shot it very well. I think she led us in scoring all three of those games. She can put the ball on the floor some. Just a hard-nosed kid, and is playing very well. As with every freshman, just understanding what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it after doing something for high school for 4 years, you know. Coker game, she got in a little bit of foul trouble. She only took one shot, but she's a very good player for us. Sadeja Love's just a super athlete, can run and jump, very athletic, will become more polished as we go along, but just a great athlete, fine young lady, and both those bring a lot to our program. We're excited about having those two girls in our program as freshmen.
We have a bunch of veterans on your team, including 4 seniors and 5 juniors. Have you been able to see some of the benefits of that experience through the first month of the season, and what has stuck out most to you in the leadership of those seniors?
Well, it's funny. Our seniors aren't real vocal leaders. You know, as I look at Chandrika Fuller and Mary Robinson in particular, and then also Crystal Hicks, they just give a great example every day in practice. They talk. They're very communicative. They play very hard. They understand what we're doing. They encourage their teammates. So I think that the leadership by example has been the best thing that they brought to the team, and they bring a lot of maturity too. They're all three very mature girls, so we're excited about that. And we've got some other kids that show some leadership roles as underclassmen also. So I like that about our team.
Well, you've had a pair of difficult road, or you'll have a pair of difficult road contests in Livingstone and Wingate, and another home battle against Mount Olive before beginning Peach Belt Conference action. What are you expecting from those 3 games to prepare your team for conference play?
Well, it would be interesting. I mean, Livingstone's a really good environment. I think last week when they played Mars Hill, they had over 1,500 at their women's game. So it's going to be a different environment for us that we're kind of excited about going in and playing. Always tough at Wingate. They're a very good team. I think they were picked to win the SAC, so they're always a very competitive team. And then Mount Olive almost beat Wilmington in an exhibition game. I think their record is maybe 2-2, but they're a tough team to play against also. So our next 3 games will be challenges. We just hope to keep improving. You know, I tell our girls the scoreboard takes care of itself. We just need to do our stuff and not worry about winning games. Worry about playing as well as we're capable of playing.
Well, where are the strengths on your team right now, and what areas do you feel have the most potential for growth?
I think we've got potential for growth in a number of different areas because we do have some new players in our program. You know, we've got Avery and Sadeja as freshmen, and we've also got LaShawna Pritchard, who plays quite a bit for us as a junior college kid. We've got Crystal Hicks, who was in our program last year but didn't play much last year. So we've got Chandrika Fuller, who we didn't get back till mid-January last year. So I think meshing all those girls together. But I think the pleasing thing now is I think our effort, physical effort defensively, all the time sometimes we don't do the things exactly how we're supposed to, but I think our physical effort is really good. We've got to improve offensively, we've got to improve rebounding, we've got to improve in a number of different areas.
Well, we ask this question to our head coaches a lot, but who are the teams to beat in the Peach Belt Conference, and who will be the ones battling for that top spot?
Right now, I'd say about everybody, because I look at non-conference records. I think Armstrong has not lost a game yet. Francis Marion is undefeated, went in and beat UNC Greensboro in an exhibition game. Columbus State is always strong. Clayton State is always strong. Lander's good. Lander lost 1 game to a very good Carson Newman team, but just our whole league is good. So I think it's just going to be a battle every night, and getting experience in close games and very competitive, tough games that go down to the wire, I think is going to be beneficial for us.
Well, with about 30 seconds left, you have assistant coach Kapika Davis by your side, who's been there with you for the last 12 years, and you return volunteer coach Joey Autry and your own son Connor as student assistant for this season. So what do these coaches contribute to the success of your program, and what does it mean to have such a consistent staff by your side?
Well, great deal. I mean, Coach Davis is like an assistant head coach or associate head coach, whatever you want to call her. I mean, she's making every decision we make in the program, she helps us make, and she's been a great asset over the last 12 years. We've been very fortunate, not only to have her, but to keep her here. You know, and obviously Joey Autry is a great role model for our girls, and it's fun having Connor around too. You know, and he does some things in practice and beats the girls with the pads and stuff, but it's good having him around also.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Coach, for being on the show with us today.
Good to be here.
We're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to sit down and see a project on Laura and Jamie Bird, so stay tuned.